Good evening and welcome to this regular session of the Lakeville Area Schools Board of Education. This meeting is officially called to order. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Board members in attendance tonight include Director Kelleher, Director Thompson, Director Shinley, Chair Baker, Director Lind, and Director Carly Anderson. The board is joined by Superintendent Dr. Doug Van Zyl and members of the Executive Cabinet, Dave Haveman, Dr. Emily McDonald, and Stephanie Cass. We'll roll on through to good news.
All right, good evening. Thank you for joining us. A couple of good things going on that we want to mention. Of course, we have our Student of the Month program. Lakeville Area Schools has a Student of the Month recognition program that highlights elementary, middle school, and high school students each month. Students are nominated by staff members. We're excited to announce May's students were Wyatt Fisher, a kindergartner at John F. Kennedy Elementary, Robert S. Atika, a 7th grader at Kenwood Trail Middle School, and Dinesh Snook-Nadun, a 10th grader at Lakeville North High School. So congratulations to those students, and you can see them on the website. Also, we have a Staff Member of the Month recognition as well. Lakeville Area Schools is excited about a monthly staff recognition program that highlights staff nominated by other employees. The Staff of the Month for May are Anna Poffendorf, a STEM teacher at John F. Kennedy Elementary, and Derek Gaborski, a 7th grade special education teacher at McGuire Middle School. So congratulations to them as well. Lakeville South students win My District, My Minnesota Art program. Lakeville South High School 11th grade student Miles Miller recently won the My District, My Minnesota Art program for Senate District 38 with his photography piece. Miller's photography will be displayed at the Minnesota Senate building through the remainder of the year. We also had Lakeville South student earn a spot in the Triple Threat, well, I'll say that fast 10 times, Triple Threat Theater program. Lakeville South High School junior Noah Clark has secured a spot in Hennepin Theater Trust Spotlight Education's Triple Threat program, following his role as Ren McCormick in Footloose. Noah joins 23 other talented Minnesota high school students for their intensive coaching and rehearsals, so congratulations to him as well. Lakeville South students selected in the Minnesota winner of the 2024 Congressional Art Competition. Lakeville South 10th grade student Alice Yee has been selected as the Minnesota District 2 winner of the 2024 Congressional Art Competition for her drawing. Yee will have her artwork displayed in the Cannon Tunnel of the U.S. Capitol for 1 year, allowing those from all over the United States and potentially the world to admire it. Our Blazing Cats took second at the 2024 State Adaptive Softball Tournament. Congratulations to the Blazing Cat Adapted Softball team for finishing a successful season with a second place finish at the 2024 Adaptive Softball CI Tournament. The Blazing Cats made it to the state championship game on Saturday, May 18th, finishing second place against Dakota United Hawks. Also, last month we had an update from the construction team about Highview Elementary, but this month we also wanted to bring you kind of a fun video and a tour from Highview's very own Principal Brett Lobin. So if you want to take a look at this video, and you'll be able to see as he shares a little bit about his thoughts, ideas, and the school.
Well, welcome to Highview Elementary. Let's go take a look around. Hello, my name is Brett Lobin, and I'm standing before you as the proud principal of Highview Elementary. I'm a collaborative leader, very much committed to co-creating an equitable, authentic, student-centered learning environment in which innovation and risk-taking, curiosity, and a sense of joy and possibility drive the learning for both the students and the staff. Thinking about this idea of inspiring curiosity through a community of care. I just love the word curiosity. It implies excitement, enthusiasm. There's a positive energy. It's impossible to be curious about something and not engage in learning. And if we can do that, surrounded by people that we have an authentic connection to, the learning is deeper. Well, here we are in the main entrance of Highview Elementary. All of our visitors will come into this area and be warmly greeted by our receptionist behind the reception window. We have a lot of very important security measures in and around Highview. Some of them are very visible, such as this window, and some of them are more subtle and hard to see. Right now I'm standing in one of the classrooms here at Highview, and you'll see that these are large, spacious classrooms with lots of natural light. You'll notice that the lockers are all inside the classroom, and that helps keep our hallways nice and bright and spacious. Highview Elementary is very unique in that all of our grade level learning areas have some sort of flexible learning space. And this specific space will be divided into 3 specific areas that are really geared for an academic purpose or instructional purpose, a collaborative creative purpose, and an exploratory purpose. So I'm standing now in probably one of the most spectacular areas of Highview Elementary. This is the lower level of our media center. And it is just an amazing room with lots of natural light. We'll have all of our staff meetings down here. There'll be different places for the students to collaborate and cozy up with a good book. It is just a phenomenal space to be in. So behind me is the other half of the media center here at Highview. This is a space where all of our books are going to be shelved. So now I'm standing in the video production room at Highview Elementary, and this is a really cool and exciting space. So for example, most of us have experience doing a book report. Well, in our video production room, we could make book commercials where we're sharing information about books that we've read to get our friends excited about it. Or we can pretend we're surfing in Hawaii. Or we're on stage in the marching band. Or I'm quarterback for the Panther football team. Touchdown! I'm now standing in our student services area at Highview Elementary, where we have 4 classrooms that were designed specifically to meet very unique learning needs. Each classroom has a calming area, a large bathroom. In the hallway of this area, there's also a sensory or motor room. Another area I'm very excited about here at Highview Elementary is our adaptive physical education area. This is a space that, regardless of the student's ability, they're able to come and achieve success in physical education. Here we are in the Highview cafeteria. You'll notice first off when you enter this space, all of the natural light and the beautiful high ceilings. It's a space not only designed to get a nutritious meal, but a great space to connect and make new friends. We have many awesome outdoor spaces here at Highview. We have 3 soccer fields, 2 baseball fields, and an amazing playground. Let's go check it out. Oh, there's a thing to stand on. You gotta come up here. A drum. Can't wait to see you soon at Highview Elementary.
Thank you to Brett and our team for putting that together. I think you can tell he had a little bit of fun doing that. Also, even though I can share it later, a lot of our elementaries were having meetings and kickoffs tonight, welcoming a bunch of students to their schools throughout this week. So that's just an example of what they'll be experiencing. So you can read more about the amazing things that are happening in our district here on isd194.org/news. And we also have one other special event going on this evening. If Carrie Pop, the school's EML president, is here to present our award for Teacher of the Year. So I'm going to let Carrie take over with that.
Hey there, friends.
Now give it a shot.
We're good? Okay. Well, good evening, Chair Baker, members of the board, Superintendent Van Zyl, and the executive cabinet members. It is great to be here tonight. I'm Carrie Popp, the email president. I'm here to present our two 23-24 email Educators of Excellence Award winners for the state. First winner is our elementary winner, Gina Mayhofer. Gina is a special education teacher, specifically an A-plus program educator at Christina Huddleston Elementary. Educators and coworkers speak very highly of Gina. Her colleagues are very impressed with her ability to create and present differentiated lessons in all the various student levels. She often combines multiple lessons, for example, Sunday with Orton Gillingham, finger spelling and sounds of the alphabet with signs, to produce an engaging lesson for all her students. She is a proficient practitioner in Orton Gillingham teaching methods. This is not required by the district and can be a lengthy certification. It is difficult to find a special educator who is skilled in reading techniques as she is. Gina's largest strength is her ability to create modifications and adaptations for her curriculum, which creates customized instruction to meet the needs of all her students. Her coworkers describe her as an animated and very sincere in her praise and practical application of reinforcements. She continually holds students to high standards, and they are held accountable for their own actions. When she sees a need, she does her best to fill it. When balancing an overwhelming workload, she keeps students' success as her number one priority. Her students needed and deserved access to social and emotional support, and so she took it upon herself to embed the important SEL skills into her daily lessons and interactions. Gina's peers say she goes above and beyond every day to receive feedback from her staff each day on how her students are doing academically and behaviorally. This feedback assists Gina in consistently keeping parents informed if dysregulation happens during the day. She goes beyond the classroom by looking for ways for parents to apply regulation techniques at home for consistency with the school environment. She is respectful of the diversity within the student body and culturally sensitive to the differences. Congratulations to Gina being the 23-24 Elementary Educator of Excellence Award winner. And of course, okay. How exciting. Our second winner is Dr. Matt Wonkin. Matt is currently the band instructor and music instructor at Lakeville North High School. Dr. Wonkin's co-workers and fellow educators say his best qualities are his patience and his humility. He has a genuine love for people and is invested in helping students and colleagues develop wherever he is able to help. Matt is described as an incredible educator. He understands how to use his content area to create connections and community for students. Dr. Wonkin is an incredible musician, but first he recognizes that music is one vehicle for how to create a culture of human connection. He's a mentor to teachers around him and a resource for working out challenges that come with our profession. He is an excellent mediator and can diffuse difficult situations. The community and culture Matt has facilitated in the music wing is exceptional. Students have a home there, and it's because of Dr. Wonkin's willingness to be patient and with the process of building a program, and his humility in seeking out feedback from stakeholders has allowed music students in Lakeville North to flourish. I have been blessed by my own daughter had Dr. Wonkin back as a band instructor. He was able to motivate her and create a culture for loving instruments in various genres of music. Matt's peers say he goes above and beyond to provide support to students daily. Many times he has been observed dealing with situations where a student is struggling with peer relations or schoolwork or life in general, and he has always had a listening ear. He helps students problem solve, and he provides an environment that has boundaries and provides consistency and safety, which also creating a culture where students learn to be passionate about life. He is intentional about creating leadership and opportunities for any students interested, and even more intentional about their teaching them to how to become servant leaders. Congratulations, Matt, on being the 23-24 Secondary Educator of Excellence Award winner. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Could we shake your hands and congratulate you? Thank you. that all your good news?
Yes, that is, well, that was the best news right there, but that's the end of our good news. Thank you.
How do I follow that?
Good luck.
Congratulations again. It's so wonderful to have a meeting where we get to hear about the wonderful things happening in our schools. So thank you for all the work that you do. For board communications, we did not have any participants in public comment tonight, nor did we have any for our last stakeholder session that I'm aware of. So we don't have any communications about that, but if anybody from the policy or the public engagement committee has met and they have anything to share, now would be a great time. Policy committee?
Yeah, so at the last meeting, actually the past two meetings, we had a chance to refine our policy 701, which is the establishment and adoption of the school district budget. So we'll be bringing that forward at the next working session where we are looking to make enhancements to adoption to that particular policy and then having it go through the process. The second policy that we ended up wrapping up last week was the cell phone policy for our school district. And so we are hoping to share that at the upcoming working session for board input and have it go through the policy process as well. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Dr. Carly Anderson, did you have something to share?
Yeah, I would only update that we were planning to meet with the Somali community in June. The date we had scheduled is the second day of Eid, so we will not be doing it on that date, and so we are going to be rescheduling.
Okay. Are there any advisory council meetings that board members have attended recently that they would like to share about?
I will just add, I was at the Gifted Advisory Council meeting a few weeks ago now. I just wanted to highlight that a couple students came and talked about their journey through just advanced classes and all the AP courses and things like that, and just offered a very unique perspective and thoughts about how perhaps students could be involved in education as freshmen are coming in and making decisions about classes and things like that. And we also spent time talking about, which I think is a continuous discussion, identification of gifted students and things like that, where we're trying to think about that in different ways. So it was a good meeting.
Thank you. Director Lind?
We had a Teaching and Learning Advisory Council meeting on May 6th, where the two topics were the Title I program and the Title III program. Title III is English Language Proficiency Program. Title I, kids are at risk at not meeting the state standards. So, and there's six elementaries, by the way, there that are in the Title I program. I think you just added Cherry View this year, as I recall. So we went over that materials. That was it.
Thank you. And Director Shinley?
I went to the ECFE Advisory Council meeting last Monday. They do such amazing work there with all of our youngest learners. So it was more of a welcome to the new parents that are going to be on the advisory council. They went through just their main bucket list, of things that they do every meeting. But they talk about what's going on in the summer, the classes that are going to be offered in the summer. So make sure everyone looks into those if you have little kiddos in your families, and they fill up fast. So you got to make sure you're on board and ready to click register on that one. So.
That's true. I sit on the community ed board, and we met recently too. It was kind of more of wrapping up the work for the year, going over our goals and talking about next year, and very happy to report that we met all of our goals except for one, which was ending meetings on time, and there were a few times that we went over. So that was the one we're still working on. There's a lot of great things happening in community ed. Summer is a very exciting time and a very busy time. So if you have a chance to pick up that catalog for the spring and summer and take a look, there's some wonderful opportunities for students to participate in. So yeah, I agree with Director Shinley on that. All right, so hearing that we have no more board communications, we'll move on to asking for a motion to approve the agenda tonight.
So moved.
We have a motion by Director Lind. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Director Shinley. Any other discussion on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor of the agenda, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, are there any items from the consent agenda that board members would like to remove for further discussion? Director Keller?
Yes, 2A, the minutes specifically, the 521, but we can just remove 2A. Just need to make a correction.
Okay.
On there.
All right, Director Thompson?
I would like to pull out item number H, letter H, the elementary math core, item I, the calendar update, and item J, resolution for tallying write-ins.
Okay. Are there any other items that board members would like to remove from the consent agenda? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda minus items A, H, I, and J?
So moved.
Right, so we have a motion by Director Anderson. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Director Kelleher. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, so we'll move into discussion of the items that were pulled. So we'll start with letter A. Director Kelleher, you said there was a
Yeah, on the
correction?
May 21st minutes for the EML contract, the motion was, it's indicated that it was made by Terry Lind, but I made the motion to accept that contract. And I think just because parliamentary procedures weren't followed there was some confusion at the end. So the original motion was made by myself.
Okay. All right, we will get that corrected. Director Thompson, do you want to start with letter H, the elementary math core resource?
Do we need to approve A first before we go to letter H?
No, we'll approve them all at once. I can just go through them. Or do you want to go through them item by item?
I would prefer to go by each item.
Okay. All right, so I am asking for a motion to approve letter A, the board minutes,
With the change,
with change, yes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Director Kelleher. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Director Lind. Any further discussion on the minutes? Okay, hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, Director Thompson, letter H, elementary math core resource.
Yeah, just want to make sure I understand the intent of this. So the elementary math course, this request or this consent agenda approval is to implement the Bridges curriculum for all elementary grade level. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Dr. McDonald, did
Yes,
you have
that's accurate.
something to say?
Emily's going to come, or
Thank
Sandy,
you.
one of the two.
Whoops. Is it on now?
Good evening.
It's hot.
You know I was a high school teacher, so I'm really loud just generally. Yes, Director Thompson, thank you for your question. What we would be looking at doing next year is implementing the new math resource for grades 4 and 5. As you know, our primary, K-3 teachers will be involved in deep learning around the READ Act next year. So it would be 4-5 for next year, and then we would flip-flop that the following year. So 4-5 would get the READ Act professional development, and then our K-3 teachers would get the math professional development.
Okay, great. And so, so I want to acknowledge, like, I am not saying that this, so the math curriculum that's going to be implemented is called Bridges, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and have we used Bridges before?
We have not.
Okay. And so, this was on the consent agenda, and it was listed on Friday. And so I am not familiar with this curriculum. I'm not on the Teacher Learning Advisory Committee. We might have had some instances in the past meetings where maybe it might have been brought up. I'm not prepared to vote on this if it's going to be impacting all of our 4th and 5th graders. I don't know the level of effort to implement it. I don't know how much the cost of the curriculum is going to be. I don't know the value of this program compared to other programs. And I don't know if there are other districts that are on this program and they're seeing success in their math program. So for this particular time, based on, other than seeing it on the agenda to approve, my recommendation, and I'd like to, my recommendation before I make the motion, and I'll defer to others to have a quick chat, that we table it, have a more formal presentation at the next working session to kind of talk through it, the benefits of it, how much it's going to cost, and so forth, and then we vote on it at the following regular board meeting. But that is my point of view, and I just want to leave it and share that with others.
Director Lind?
I think this is the first time this board in 2 years has looked at curriculum, come to a decision
to select curriculum, and it's really an involved process. The math standards came out in 22, as I recall.
Sandy, what was the 22?
I think, pardon?
Yes, correct.
Yes. And then we looked at it this year. A group of people, 30-some plus teachers and staff members, looked at a number of curriculums, decided that they were going to pilot in some buildings a few of those curriculums, and they did that this year, and they came up with the recommendations for bridges. And generally, the board usually goes along with that. They've put in the whole year looking at this thing. The value of the program, we can't question that. They selected it. They feel is very valuable. And as for cost, I'm sure the program fits into the budget that we have set aside for the math curriculum in elementary. So I really don't have any issues with what they've done. They've done a lot of work. They've actually used a number of the curriculums. They've had parents they've vetted the curriculum through the parents. They had an opportunity to look at at the curriculum. I think it was like 2 weeks or something like that they were notified of that. So I really don't have an issue with their selection.
Director Thompson?
Yeah, so I haven't had the opportunity to go through much curriculum voting experiences. The one that I recall the most is when we went through Character Strong, I believe last year, and there was a formal presentation. We talked about it. There was a pilot that was done, and I've yet to see a Bridges presentation to me. And so when I look at the duties of a school board, 123B09, the board must superintend and manage the schools of the district, adopt rules for the organization, government, and instruction, keep registers, and prescribe textbooks. So this is the scope of our responsibility to make sure that if we are going to approve a curriculum, a board member ought to feel comfortable and have the adequate information that they need to make that to make that decision. And in addition to, I think in policy 209, section E, it says, we are to participate in Board of Education action after considering the recommendation of the superintendent and only after the superintendent has furnished adequate information supporting the recommendation. And so the only thing that I've seen thus far is a consent agenda addition to approve this curriculum for all of our 4th and 5th graders. So I'd like to make a motion to table this particular topic for a more formal overview at our next working session and the adoption potentially of it at the next regular board meeting.
Dr. Van Zyl?
Sure. As was shared, and I think even Director Thompson has asked about having information provided. You get monthly updates. It's been provided twice to you, January and April. There was a December TLAC meeting, which you have access to all the information from there. There's a board member that sits on the TLAC council. You yourself were a part of it. I don't believe you are anymore. I think you chose not to be a part of that and are on something else, policy committee. I think that changed partway through the year. So the process that's been used in this district is exactly what has happened. You have 34 educators, 2 that represented every building, and then some other areas as well that went through the process. They vetted it. It's been on the website. It's been in multiple places. So you were provided multiple pieces of information at multiple times to be able to do that. If there's something that you believed was missing, you definitely could have asked for those pieces of information. But as a board, you've asked for us to provide you information as far out in front as we can. I know Sandy and her team started providing information in December. That's 6 months ago, and in multiple avenues. A board member has been a part of it. He explained the process. So you're definitely welcome to your thoughts and ideas and the motion that you made. But to say that there hasn't been information or that there hasn't been input from the staff, from the community, the people that are involved, the professionals who are the people that are teaching it, pick this resource. And not to be offensive, they're the folks who are going to be utilizing it and implementing it. And as far as how they believe that it's going to be successful. And it's not like this was just something that was chosen off the shelf. There are multiple districts in the area. I believe Prior Lake just recently adopted it again themselves, the updated edition. So there's numerous districts around that utilize it. So you have had the information, whether you took the choice to be able to look at where those things are or not, I can't say. We could go and take a look if you've accessed it, but that's not necessarily what I need to do. If you felt you missed it, I guess I would say, what more would you want other than those types of things being presented to you on a regular basis through communication, as you asked us to be able to do?
Director Thompson?
Yeah, so while very similar to the Character Strong program that we had, it was presented at a regular board meeting. It was presented at a working session. And having those particular curriculums shared in those sessions allows the general community as a whole to also be aware of what's going on beyond those individuals that are specific in those teaching and learning scenarios or committees and so forth. So all I'm asking for is more transparency with what's going on, make sure the community knows what we're doing for 4th and 5th graders in this particular curriculum. Is there a specific deadline, like we have to have this decided by, or is like, oh no, like, is it gonna cost so much more money if we don't make a decision by the end of next month?
So I would ask Sandy Georgie to maybe join us up here as the leader of this process. There certainly are timelines and things that we need to address in terms of being prepared for implementation in the fall. So I'll let you speak to that.
Thank you, Dr. McDonald. So yes, we do have some timelines that we need to put in place. As you can imagine, with a curriculum such as Bridges, it's very robust. A majority of our metro area districts do utilize it, so it's difficult to get on the roster for PD, so we're already a little bit behind the 8 ball with our timeline that we have in order to make sure that they are here for our teachers in August. We have a Jumpstart PD for some of our teachers. In fact, the majority of our teachers are choosing to come in during the early part of August because they're excited about this opportunity to engage in that PD, and that will happen on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. So we do need to schedule those. We also need to make sure that the resources are here and ready and available for our teachers starting on August 13th.
Okay.
Can I ask one of you ladies to share what the process is that we put out to our public? Because we do always set aside several weeks for viewing the materials. Can you share a little bit about how that happened with this particular situation?
Yes. Thank you, Director Kelleher. Just like all of our curriculum, we do have a standard process that we use. For this particular one, we did have it posted on our website from April 8th to April 26th. It was in the news section portion of our website. I work closely with our communication department, and in that communication on the website, it gave an overview of the standards, what is to be expected for the shifts for our students. It also outlined a feedback form where community members could provide feedback, and then we had one-pager previews for the resources that we field tested, and we had full pages that identified, particularly since we're speaking of Bridges, with a website that you could go to, as well as a video and descriptions of each of those components. And then families were able to respond, and we also advertised it through our 194 Now. So it was on the website for a month, and then our teachers on the teacher-facing internet side through the Elementary Curriculum Hub, our teachers had the same opportunity with a very similar format.
Director Thompson?
Is this Bridges program, even though if it's deployed in other districts, do these other districts have better reading metrics than we do?
It's a math curriculum.
I'm sorry, math metrics?
I can speak to that a bit. During our field test, we field tested the full year. I do want to give a shout out to our field test teachers. We had about 15 of those teachers, and we did have a big heavy lift, a big ask of them. And we did do a site visit actually in Wayzata, and we spent a day with them. They're a district, as you know, that has similar demographics. They have probably 400 more students than we do, and also their diversity is very similar to ours. They are the top performing district in the state as it relates to math, and they've been using Bridges for over 7 years. If you recently probably looked at an article from Prior Lake that came out in November of 2023, they recently adopted Bridges as well, and they are attributing their increase in scores to that PD and to the use of that resource.
Thank you. Any other questions on this? Director Carly Anderson?
I'm just curious, Sandy, how many curricula might you compare in this kind of situation?
I appreciate that question. So our first process, and this is a similar process we use in all content areas, we looked at a variety of different resources. We vet them through things such as What Works Clearinghouse, Ed Reports. We look closely at those, and then we interview other districts to be able to determine what did they like about that resource, what didn't they like. We also interview the vendors, and then we whittle that number down to what we think is appropriate for our teachers to go ahead and then field test. In this case for math, we had about 3 or 4 that we were considering as contenders, but as we looked a little bit closer with the new release of the standards, some of them didn't meet some of those shifts. So in this particular situation, we did field test 2 resources. We field tested for the first semester 1 of the resources, and then second semester for the other resource, so a full year.
Okay. We do have a motion on the table right now from Director Thompson to table this and vote on it later after he receives more information. Do I have a second on that motion to table this item? Okay, no second on that. Do I have a motion to approve the elementary math core resource item H?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion by Director Lind. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Director Carly Anderson. Is there any discussion on this item? Okay, hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Okay, so motion carries 5-1. All right, Director Thompson, the next item would be item I, which is the calendar update.
Yeah, so last week, it was presented to the board, so then the board is aware of this respective agenda item. There is a Link Crew program that was being asked to implement in the high schools, and I believe because of the addition of this new program, it is to ask for all of 10th and 11th graders and potentially 3/4 of 12th graders in both high schools to not to attend school on the first day, so that 9th graders can go and have an orientation day, and then everyone else will come start school on the second day. Is that my understanding?
Kind of.
No.
So there are parts of that that are correct, but so the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders that are not on the Link Crew would be having a digital learning day. So then I think it was presented that there would be the upperclassmen, so many for each grade that would be the advisors, I guess, or the Link Crew that would help the students, the 9th graders during that first day.
Correct.
So that's
So,
the information.
let me-
Is
There's
there
about
anything
about
else?
135, I believe, at each building that are a part of that. And the other component is it's not something new, it's something that was implemented last year. The change in the process is that instead of just using a 2-hour late start was to make the adjustment. And so in going to a full day, which is what the board is being asked to approve, not to approve Link Crew, because Link Crew's already been a component and something that's been used, it's just being done in a more effective model according to our administrative team and our high school folks that have worked with it. And so really what they're asking for is the calendar day adjustment to the instructional day being a digital learning day for those folks that are not part of Link Crew or are not freshmen.
And have it be a full day, not a 2-hour late start.
I'm sorry?
And have it be a full day,
Yeah,
not a
it's-
2-hour late
It's a
start.
full day, digital day for
Right.
those folks.
Director Thompson?
Yeah, so let me clarify, let me restate that. So Link Crew is not new, we've always had it.
Yes.
Had it for several years. I don't know
Okay.
how long that they've had it. It's not.
Got it.
It's been a while.
All right, yeah, so the Link Crew program is not the issue that I have. And if there is an opportunity for Link Crew, juniors and seniors to volunteer on the first day of school to assist freshmen throughout their day, to help them and guide them where they are, where the classes are, where lunch is, where to sit, X, Y, Z. That is the intent from what I understood from last week's working session.
There's a little more depth to it than that, as far as helping them run their schedule, answer questions, show them where their classes are, talk to them, build a relationship with them, so a freshman walking in isn't just intimidated by upperclassmen. They're like, oh, there's somebody that I know, I can ask them, hey, I'm lost. So there's a lot more to it. It's about relationship building. It's about confidence building. It's about giving those freshmen the opportunity to transition and grow into the school rather than just dumping them in with everybody there, which is a bit overwhelming. And I know several people, I think, spoke to that. I think Bree even said something about her own child, not to put words in her mouth, that she was thinking that would have been something that would have been beneficial for her child. I think similar type things have to be looked at and explored anytime there's a transition, but this is something that I think our high school team talked about, looked at, is there a better way of doing it, better way to help our freshmen transition? And they've talked to other schools, because there's multiple other schools that have the same type of program. And that's, again, the folks who are the experts in that day-to-day operation of the school that are feeling very strongly that that's why they need the whole day to be able to make that transition more successful.
Director Thompson?
Yeah, so then the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders would have a digital learning day on Tuesday, the first day of school. So we're impacting over 2,500 students so that 1,000 students can feel comfortable going into school on the first day. I mean, if we want to help students to be more resilient, it's part of life. Like you start school with everybody else. Now, what I would like to see is, can we incorporate Link Crew in a different way, where then all students can attend school on the first day, experience 10th grade, experience 11th grade, as they would with any other normal day. I have a tough time. I guess I'm trying to understand what problem are we trying to solve for this, because I just don't understand. I don't see it, because we're sacrificing an entire day's worth. And if it's a digital day for 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, my son's going to be playing video games for all day, and so it's going to be. I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. And so, help me understand the problem that we're trying to solve and why we need to do this.
Director Lind?
I think part of it is the first day of school there's no education taking place. You're going through the system. You're going through, this is how you're being graded. These are the things we're going to cover. So that's what they would do on a digital day. I mean, it makes sense that you don't really need to have materials or anything. You're getting a background on what that course is going to be like for the year.
And I agree. I understand that. Those are probably the things that would occur on the first day of school. But again, the 10th graders are also probably excited to see who's in their class, where they're going to go. They've got to go to a new wing. I mean, I just don't see how asking all of the 10th graders, 11th graders, and majority of the 12th graders to stay at home on the first day because we've got to help 1,000 freshmen find where their lockers are. Come on, guys. This is part of high school.
Lockers.
Well, I don't know. Well, not lockers. But there's, and so I want to just be mindful that are we being effective and useful over our time with an entire day's worth. And so I think I'd like to ask a motion to, hey, what can we do? What could we do to have Link Crew participate on the first day of school by not asking the 10th, 11th, and 12th graders to stay at home on the first day of school?
So I think that you're going to need to correct your motion, because the only thing that we are voting on with this item would just be amending the calendar to make it a full day. So the motion would have to relate to the actual item that we're voting on, which would be calendar update, right? We're changing the calendar. So you could say that you motion that it's not a full day. I guess I'm trying to I'm trying to put words in your mouth, I guess, to figure out what's your issue with the.
But I want to make sure that the community knows why we're making this calendar update, is so that 10th, 11th, and 12th graders are staying at home on the first day of school for a digital learning day, so that we can so that 9th graders can ease into the first day of school.
Yeah, just to clarify, you have to remember this will be happening for every 9th grader, so every student in that school sooner or later is impacted by it. It just so happens that it's starting this year with the full day. They did have Link Crew last year, so those sophomores that had Link Crew last year, I think can tell you that it was a valuable experience. I know as Dr. McDonald and I went and meet with our high school students, that's one of the things they talk about is how as a freshman can I build a connection? How can I find out about clubs and programs? How can I find out where I'm supposed to go during lunch? How can I find out when, if I have a question, how do I get to the dean's office? How do I get to talk to a counselor?
Does that problem exist today? Like, do we have a ton of people asking, how do I do this?
According to our students, yes. And I think that's why the high school staff made that presentation to you. They're the experts in how they work with their kids. They interact with them on a daily basis. And those are the folks that have made this recommendation to you. So to what Chair Baker was saying, really what you're being asked is the calendar adjustment, not the program itself.
Yep.
Director Carly Anderson?
Yeah, I do want to, I can absolutely connect with the idea that students are going to feel variably on that first day of school. Like some kids are going to be really excited. Maybe they've been in the school before because their siblings are in or things like that. But so I do think even from a mental health perspective, kids are going to be at very different levels. But I also was just wondering from a logistics standpoint, going from a late start to a full day off might be better just from busing perspective, as well as letting kids actually go through all their classes from home. So I just think then they don't miss any part of their day. They just have a digital learning day, which all of them are kind of accustomed to after going through the pandemic. So like Terry said, it's a syllabus day, which we can all connect with the idea of a syllabus day. We don't do any real learning, and that way they can connect with all their classes rather than coming into school late. And that would cost us, I would guess, from a busing perspective too, if we have to do separate rounds of busing.
Director Thompson?
So if you've got freshmen that might be in classes with 11th and 12th graders, do they go to that classroom and so I'm trying to logistically understand how this works, because then if the 11th and 12th graders that are home doing a digital learning day, are they logging in to that class, and then the 9th graders are the only ones sitting in that class with the teacher? All the teachers are deployed on the first day of school. The buses are all being deployed, but only 9th graders are allowed to be in the school, are going to be in the school building, correct?
Again, the logistics of the day are up to the team, the high school administrators. That's not a board logistical decision. That's why that team came and presented the information they did to you in regard to it. And I believe that they answered that question for you at the work session as well, as far as what does the day look like, even though it may look differently for one teacher or another teacher. All the teachers are there to support all students, because not all the teachers teach just freshmen. They teach freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So they're building relationships with all those kids, which research, I think, would tell you from a social emotional vantage point as well, is something that our kids need. And so that's why that team feels strongly about making the recommendation that they did.
So I think we've gotten a little off topic on what we're actually approving here. And
Yeah,
the
it's the
discussion has kind of evolved into the program and the program, the parameters of the program, which I don't think is the issue anyway, from my understanding of what you have brought up, Director Thompson. So I feel like just listening to this, that you're just not approving the fact that it's a full day versus the 2 hour. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I don't, if there is, I guess I'd like to learn more to say, hey, what would it look like so that if everyone was there, how could we integrate Link Crew throughout the day? And so maybe my motion would be like to table this for the next regular board meeting and have at the upcoming working session, ask, hey, what could it look like? And maybe it doesn't look great. Maybe it doesn't. But I think we should at least ask before we ask 2,500 of our 10th through 12th graders to stay at home on the first day.
Well, so we have a motion to table this. That's your motion.
That's my motion.
Is there a second for that motion? I don't hear it. It might be something that the board could request information on how this goes for this year and just kind of hear about the differences between doing a 2 hour versus a full day and how it went. Like that might be something that we could ask for in the future and get more information. But I think we've kind of, we don't have a second. So is there a motion to approve the calendar update?
I'll make a motion to approve the update.
Okay, motion by Director Kelleher. Is there a second? someone?
I'll second.
Second by Director Carly Anderson. Any further discussion on this item? Okay, hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
No.
Okay, motion carries 5-1. All right, so the last item that you have requested to be pulled from the consent agenda was item J, which is the resolution for tallying write-ins if write-in votes are greater than a candidate total votes.
Yeah, so I don't think, I am not in favor of this, and I would like for us to kind of talk through this. Well, again, I think how it works is that the lowest vote getter, so I'm just making a number up, let's say that's 500. If someone writes in a vote and it doesn't reach that 500, that vote will not be counted. Is that my understanding of this policy or this resolution?
If you read through the resolution, I don't have it right in front of me. There is a process that spells out exactly what that looks like. I know the city's approved it, Dakota County. I sent you the information as far as Dakota County, how many school districts have approved it. I believe it says something similar to what you just said, is that they will be tallying all the votes and they'll be taking a look at if the lowest number of votes is equal to the number of write-ins, and they go back and recalculate what that is. Or from my understanding, if they're asked to tabulate the write-ins, or if somebody says, hey, I'm running a write-in campaign, those are things that'll kick into place. So the city runs a majority of those. They've already approved it. The mayor and the council have voted on, approved it. And as I mentioned, there were 5 or 6 districts already in Dakota County that have approved it.
And currently, our process would be that they have to write down all of those write-in ballot names. So that's what takes the process like longer to tally those votes right now. So, you know, you have some people that say, oh, I'm not going to vote for anybody, so I'm going to write in Mickey Mouse. And they have to write down all of those. So this would be like kind of eliminating those ones that are just kind of funny, quote, funny, or the way that things people do that, instead of like ones that are actually like a write-in campaign. Right?
Yeah, I understand that. I think where I get torn is like, you know, a vote is a vote, and a person is entitled to who they vote, and it ought to be counted. I get that whoever they write in may not get enough to be the lowest, to beat the lowest of the person, but it's still a vote. And so, I mean, if the lowest is, let's say, 1,000, and whoever writes in and happens to get 500, and maybe it's not a write-in campaign, but the community or whoever, for whatever purpose, they want that individual to be at least acknowledged. And so I guess, I mean, if someone's going to vote and write somebody's name in it, I feel like it's their right, it's our obligation to acknowledge this as a person. I get that I get that it might be an administrative burden. I get that that person may not even want to win, or that person may not even win, but it's like I feel like it's an official proceeding. It's like a vote is a vote. And so we ought to track that person and whoever those individuals are that they voted on. So I am not in favor of this, but just want to just talk through that. So,
Director Kelleher?
Just to be clear, their vote will still count. You are not counting ballots and votes. They're being counted. It's just the record keeping and not having to do the individual recording of each of the names.
Correct.
So I just want that to be clear. The ballots and the votes will count.
Thank you. You said it so much better. Any other discussion on this item? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the resolution for tallying write-in votes?
So moved.
All right, so we have a motion by Director Schindley. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Director Lind. Any further discussion on this? Okay, hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed?
no.
All right, motion carries 5-1. And that is it for our consent agenda discussion items. We don't have any reports on our agenda tonight, but we do have reports with recommended actions, which we are all very excited about, because it is the class of 2024 graduation list and request for approval.
Sean Murphy, South's principal, is coming to talk to you about that.
All right, see if the mic's working. It is. So good evening, Chair Baker, Board of Education, Dr. Van Zyl, executive team. Thank you for having me tonight. I'm Sean Murphy, the principal at Lakeville South, and I'm here representing myself and Kim Booty, the principal at Lakeville North. And at this time, the following students are meeting requirements for both high schools as established by the school board and the state of Minnesota. So I am recommending that 499 students from Lakeville North for commencement and 528 students from Lakeville South for commencement. It will be held, Lakeville North will be first this year at 5 p.m. on Thursday, June 6th at Mariucci Arena at the University of Minnesota campus. And Lakeville South will go next, and that will start at 8 p.m. It has been our custom to have all board members in attendance. Please let us know, either myself or Kim Booty, if you cannot make it that night. So thank you, and we look forward to a great night of graduation.
Yay.
All right.
Do we have anything to say from board members? Director Kelleher?
No, I'm just going to make a motion to accept the graduating class.
All right, so we have a motion to accept the graduating class by Director Kelleher. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Director Carly Anderson.
Suspense.
Right?
Now the students are like, oh.
Any comments or discussion from board members? Director Thompson?
And just want to make sure this is a graduating class of 2024, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations to all the graduates. This is an exciting time. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. All right, since we don't have any additions to the agenda tonight, Superintendent, the report?
Sure, just very quickly, as Sean mentioned, it is vitally important that if you have a change in your plans, that you let them know that sooner rather than later. Also, Kim Elson is sent out some information, I think, to you already about graduation. And so if something's changed there, please make sure you follow up with her on that. Actually, don't follow up with her. She's going to be gone. Follow up with, as Sean said, either himself or Kim, or reach out to me if you need to, and we can make sure we get that taken care of. I know there was a dinner that was ordered that night. I think caps and gowns are all taken care of, those types of things. Well, you don't have caps, but gowns, or you can have a cap if you have a cap or a hood. So those things are there. So, of course, graduation is an exciting time of the year. A lot of other fun activities going on. As I mentioned, our elementary folks were doing some elementary celebrations and welcomes to their schools. Keep an eye out for those. Also, somebody stole the thunder on this, but we have a lot of things taking place. It may have been Kim that took this during the summer as well, that you can sign up for, people in the community can sign up for, to be involved in. That's not only students, but that's adults who are community ed programming as well. So please make sure you keep an eye out for those. And then also please watch out for other invitations, because normally you get something from the ALC, not ALC, Pathways.
Yep.
You normally get something from some of our special ed graduations. So if you're getting those invitations, please make sure you respond to that, because it does help them plan for what they have going on and help us celebrate those students that are involved as well. So we're looking forward to winding down the year, and it'll be here before you know it.
Thank you so much. Having completed all of our items, do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
So moved.
A motion by Director Kelleher. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Go for it, Terry.
I'll second.
Second by Director Schindley. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll put it to a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, and this meeting is officially adjourned. Have a wonderful evening.